Everyone keeps saying the same thing over and over again. Don't judge people. Judging is toxic. Only God can judge. We should accept everyone exactly as they are, no matter what they do or how they behave. It sounds beautiful, doesn't it? It sounds incredibly noble, kind, and deeply evolved. But let's be completely real with each other for a single second. This is, without a doubt, one of the biggest, most deceptive, and most dangerous lies that modern society keeps pushing hard here in 2026. In this video, I am going to break down the cold, hard, unfiltered truth. I'm going to explain exactly why judging people is not only completely okay, it is actually smart. It is necessary. In fact, it is one of the most critical survival skills you can possibly develop if you want to protect your peace, save your time, guard your money, and actually succeed in this brutal world. What's up, guys? Welcome back to ValidOrNah. This channel is entirely dedicated to raw logic, harsh realities, and those uncomfortable truths that most creators are simply too scared to say out loud. If you are completely tired of the fake positivity, the constant virtue signaling, and the unrealistic, fairy tale advice that absolutely fails in the real world, you are definitely in the right place. Hit that subscribe button right now, turn on your notifications, and let's dive deep into this highly controversial topic. First of all, let's clear the air. Judging people is not inherently cruel, malicious, or evil, despite what the internet tries to make you believe. It is literally human nature. Your brain is hardwired to judge. It is an automated, evolutionary software running in the background of your mind. The exact second you look at someone, your brain instantly starts making rapid-fire, micro-calculations. Is this person trustworthy? Do they seem confident? Or are they hiding something? Are they dangerous? What kind of energy are they radiating? Are they someone I actually want in my inner circle? This isn't being mean-spirited. This is cognitive efficiency. This is exactly how the human race managed to survive for thousands of years. Think about it. Back in ancient times, if our ancestors didn't judge outsiders instantly, the consequences were fatal. If they failed to read a shady look or an aggressive posture, they could easily trust the wrong person. The result? They end up robbed, betrayed, kicked out of the tribe, or left for dead in the wilderness. Judging quickly wasn't a personality flaw. It was a literal survival mechanism. And guess what? The world hasn't actually changed that much. It is still extremely useful in our modern society today, even if mainstream culture tries to make you feel deeply guilty for using your natural, God-given instincts. Yet, society constantly demands that we do the complete opposite. They repeat cliché phrases like, "Don't judge a book by its cover." They weaponize guilt to make you second-guess your own gut feelings. They brand you as toxic, close-minded, or cynical if you dare to analyze someone's behavior. But here is the ultimate irony. Everyone is judging everyone else, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They just refuse to admit it out loud. Look at dating apps. People swipe left and reject a human being in less than a single second based purely on a photo. Look at corporate job interviews. The hiring manager sitting across from you has already formed a solid judgment about your competence, your intellect, and your worth within the first 30 seconds of you walking through the door. We all judge constantly. We judge who we want to be friends with, who we want to romance, who we want to invest our money with, and who we can actually rely on when things get tough. The only real difference between you and the people preaching non-judgment is honesty. Some people do it openly and logically, while others pretend they are floating above it all on a cloud of moral superiority, only to turn around and judge everyone viciously in secret. Let me give you a concrete, real-life example of what happens when you turn off your judgment switch. I had a close friend a few years back who loved to brag about his open-mindedness. He would always say things like, "Man, I don't judge anyone. Everyone deserves a blank slate and a fair chance." Well, a new guy entered our wider social circle, and the red flags were practically screaming. This guy was constantly asking people for small loans. He was chronically late. He never kept his word, and his stories about his past were wildly inconsistent and sketchy. My friend completely ignored all of these blatant warning signs. Why? Because he didn't want to be judgmental. He wanted to be the nice, accepting guy. He allowed this person into his home, into his business discussions, and into his confidence. Fast forward a few months later. This guy asked my friend for a massive financial loan for an emergency. Once the cash was handed over, The guy completely vanished. He blocked everyone, disappeared into thin air, and to make matters worse, he spread vicious, fabricated rumors behind my friend's back to justify his exit. My friend was left emotionally devastated, socially stressed, and financially broke. He got burned badly, all because he chose to blindfold his own judgment. I, on the other hand, judged that guy within the first 10 minutes of meeting him. The math didn't add up. The energy felt completely off. So, I kept a firm, polite, but distant boundary. I saved myself thousands of dollars, months of agonizing drama, and unnecessary psychological stress. That is not malice. That is the real, undeniable power of smart, tactical judging. Let's apply this exact same logic to another massive area of life: dating and relationships. If a girl's social media consists entirely of revealing photos, if she is out partying at clubs multiple nights a week, if she constantly talks about endless drama with her exes, and she has a proven history of chaotic, short-lived relationships, judging her based on those clear, established patterns is not being shallow. It is called risk assessment. It is called protecting your mental health. Ignoring those blatant, flashing warning signals just so you can look like a progressive, non-judgmental guy has absolutely destroyed the mental well-being, drained the bank accounts, and wasted the prime years of countless men. And let's be fair, the exact same thing applies the other way around. If a guy shows major red flags, if he is disrespectful to waitstaff, inconsistent with his communication, constantly playing emotional games, and unable to hold down a job, a woman ignoring those signs to be understanding is setting herself up for heartbreak. Patterns do not lie. People tell you exactly who they are through their repeated actions. When you choose to ignore the data in front of your face, you aren't being kind. You are being reckless. Now, let's get to the most controversial part of this video, the part that most life coaches and mainstream influencers will never tell you. Good judging is fundamentally a high form of self-respect. When you flat out refuse to judge the people around you, what you are actually communicating to the universe is that your own time, your own energy, your peace of mind, and your long-term future simply do not matter. You are basically stating that you are completely willing to let toxic, unreliable, manipulative, or low-value people drift into your life, ruin your mood, and disrupt your goals, just so random strangers on the internet will call you a nice, non-judgmental person. That isn't true kindness. That isn't empathy. That is textbook self-sabotage wrapped up in a bow of moral vanity. Of course, let me make a crucial distinction here. I am absolutely not saying you should walk around being a miserable jerk, judging people for stupid, superficial reasons. There is a massive, ocean-wide difference between intelligent, analytical judging and just being an arrogant asshole. Judging someone based on their tangible actions, their personal consistency, how they treat people who can do nothing for them, and their core character, that is high-level intelligence. On the flip side, judging someone for things they cannot control, like their height, their race, their accent, or a physical disability, that is stupid, shallow, and entirely pointless. But even then, we have to admit that human beings still do this subconsciously, whether society likes it or not. We see this play out dramatically in the professional world every single day. The corporate ladder is practically a snake pit for the naive. So many talented, hardworking professionals get their careers absolutely derailed because they refuse to judge their colleagues or their bosses accurately. They adopted the mentality of, let's just love everyone and work as a team. They trusted a coworker who seemed incredibly sweet and charming, sharing personal details and career ambitions over lunch, only to find out, 6 months later, that this exact same sweet coworker stabbed them directly in the back during promotion cycle, stole credit for their project, or weaponized office politics to ruin their reputation. Smart judging allows you to see past the corporate smile. It helps you analyze motives, spot hidden agendas, and navigate complex social hierarchies. It keeps your career safe, your reputation intact, and your professional boundaries rock solid. This necessity even extends to the people closest to us, our friends, and our biological family. This is perhaps the hardest pill for people to swallow. Just because someone shares your DNA or has known you since high school does not give them a free pass to drain your life force. Some family members are deeply, structurally toxic. They thrive on drama, they gaslight your success, and they project their own failures onto you. Some friends are completely transactional. They only remember your phone number exists when they need a favor, a ride, money, or an emotional dumping ground. Recognizing these destructive patterns, evaluating them objectively, and making the conscious judgment to cut them off or set strict boundaries does not make you a bad son, a bad daughter, or a disloyal friend. It is called emotional intelligence. It is called boundary setting. It is called surviving. So, how do you actually master the art of smart judgment without becoming cynical? Here is the framework. Rule number 1. Watch what they do, completely ignore what they say. Words are cheap, effortless, and heavily manufactured. Actions require energy, intent, and consistency. Rule number 2. Observe how they treat people who can offer them absolutely nothing in return. How do they talk to the cashier? How do they treat the waiter? That is a direct window into their soul. Rule number 3. Look for consistency over an extended period of time. Anyone can pretend to be an angel for a week or a month. No one can hide their true nature forever. Rule number 4. Pay absolute attention to the micro details. How do they handle losing? How do they react when someone else wins? Rule number 5. Never, ever ignore your gut feeling. Your subconscious mind processes millions of data points that your conscious mind misses. If something feels off, it usually is. Judging isn't about fueling hatred or feeling superior. It is about advanced pattern recognition. It is wisdom in action. It is the protective shield you wear in a world full of predators, opportunists, and emotional vampires. At the end of the day, the most successful people in dating, business, friendships, and life are those who can judge others accurately and rapidly. The ones who keep struggling, losing money, and getting heartbroken are the ones who refuse to judge, and they pay the price over and over again. So, after covering everything today, the biological reality of human judgment, the real-world financial ruin, the massive social hypocrisy, the absolute danger of blind compliance, and the sheer power of analytical observation, the question now goes to you. Am I valid or not? Do you think judging people is actually a necessary tool for survival? Or do you still genuinely believe we should live in a world where we never judge anyone, no matter what? Drop your completely honest thoughts in the comments section below. You already know I read every single one of them. If you appreciate this kind of raw, unfiltered truth, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on your notifications, and I will see you guys in the next video.